China. Why in the world am I talking about China, and what the heck does it have to do with the Pokemon TCG? Well, unless you've been living under a rock for the last year and a half, China has had a huge resurgence of Pokemon cards, and it's there now. In fact, they recently celebrated their first year anniversary of Pokemon cards. And I think as collectors, we need to pay attention to the Chinese market because, oh boy, this has potential to go crazy. And after a year and a half, I think it's here to stay this time. Now, first, before we get into the details of why I think we should be looking closely at the Chinese market, let's talk a little bit about the history of why I think this is here to stay officially now, whereas before, I wouldn't have cared about it. So number one, the reason why China has not had a lot of Pokemon cards over the last 25 years is because they're the number one counterfeit creation area makers of Pokemon cards. Number two is South America, and they just make the coolest cards ever. I mean, look at this Charizard. Why would you not buy that? I mean, look at this Skarmory with 580 HP, and it's second edition. Unheard of. We could all use more of these cards in our life. And that's one big reason why China hasn't had a lot of Pokemon cards over the years. Another reason is, World War II beef. They absolutely hate each other. I mean, look up Unit 713. That's all you need to know right there. But we are seeing sets starting to release, and over the last year and a half, the sets have been pretty consistent in their releases, and they've been kind of wild in how they've structured these sets. Because originally, China, yes, did get Pokemon cards back when base set came, and this is from Bulbapedia. If you ever have questions on Pokemon stuff, Bulbapedia is a great article resource thing to look up things. This is from a user who is creating a list of all the Pokemon card expansions in China. And I gotta say, this has been a wealth of information because it is hard to find anything on Chinese Pokemon card sets releases and even what the heck they have inside of them. Back in 2000, they got the base set along with English, and then they stopped. They tried again here with EX Legend Maker, which this is actually a cool little Chinese set. It's really hard to find legitimate copies of these because they've also been faked like crazy and counterfeited. But they tried again in 2006 and it flopped majorly. And now in 2023 into 2024, they have started again and they have been combining sets from the Sun and Moon era and the Sword and Shield era. And sometimes the sets are almost a complete match. Other times they're weird conglomerations. The first one to come out was a massive set with two sets here with something like 180 cards in each set. Yeah, freaking ridiculous. But it had old school cards from the Sun and Moon era that we haven't seen in Japanese or English in a hot minute, and we'll get into why that's important later. So you could get the Charizard here in simplified Chinese. Here's the artwork for them, and I love these pack artworks. They're really, really good. And why this is important for collectors, now that we've gotten rid of some of the history here, is because the Chinese market is massive. It's China. And if Pokemon really does take foot there for the official cards, you could see Chinese cards start to outpace Japanese or English cards because of a much greater demand and a much larger pool of collectors. Another reason I bring this up right now is there are a lot of official Pokemon cards in Chinese that are super, super dirt cheap. Look at this Blastoise and Piplup here. This is an official card. This is a real card. $15 for this alt art. I mean, the English version's going to run you like $125 to $150 here. And the Japanese is going to run you way more. We've all seen recently how the Korean Eevee heroes jumped in price because of people were searching for those cards because of the demand for Moonbryon and other alt arts from that set. And I'm telling you guys right now, the Chinese market is going to be something to look at seriously and consider. Because many of these cards are dirt cheap. Here's another one. Here's the full art version for $15. China is also getting exclusive artworks that we haven't seen in Japanese or in English here with the Venusaur, the Blastoise, and the rainbow versions of these two that we only got regular versions of as promos here in the States. And there have also been some cards that have had some very limited releases, and I mean very limited releases. Shout out to my boy Titanic for showing me this. This is the Chinese Pikachu and Zekrom that came out of the Chinese New Year red envelope packs that apparently has a very limited number of copies for it. And this thing has gone from like $300 all the way up to about $600. I think it's selling somewhere for in the $500 range. I mean, here's the Latios. Here's another big king card here for probably half the price of the English right now and a third of the price of the Japanese. Again, in the past, I would have largely discounted this. Largely, I focus on collecting English cards and then some Japanese cards. I'm about 70-30 when it comes to collecting, because the Chinese sets have come out in the past and they've flopped and they've done nothing. There have been some other mini sets here that are not included in this user's list, but they ended up being counterfeited so much Japan just stopped. Now that the counterfeiting seems to be done, or at least they're over the counterfeiting and they're still selling their official products, even though the counterfeiting might be going on, it looks like this is here to stay. They've even got their 1-year anniversary box, which comes out with nearly every set that they produced so far, and a couple cool promos here, some wooden stands, some dice kits. It's really taken off. So I think this thing used to retail when it came out for $100, and now it's already doubled. And there's even a new set, Eevee Heroes, that just recently released, of which I bought a box. Hopefully we could get something good. I do have a contact in China, but he has not gotten a lot of this new stuff yet, so I took a chance on eBay and found a reputable Chinese seller. I know that's kind of an oxymoron, but hopefully we could get something here. And these boxes are going for pretty decent prices right now. They also are doing different styles in Chinese, where they're doing regular packs and fat packs, something we haven't seen in Pokemon since, I think, the Versus series. It's been a while since we've seen fat packs in Pokemon, but you could get different versions of these. They'll come with different sets amount of cards, and they're overall not too expensive right now. Here's one of the jumbo packs, which comes with 25 cards in 6 packs, so it's 150 cards, but these are all some of the big hits that are in this set, and there you go. There's the Moonbryon right there. So as the Chinese market is kind of coming into its own and as it gets itself established, if you want to find some cheaper cards that are still official Pokemon cards that may have some good return on investment, again, if you invest in Pokemon and don't love collecting Pokemon, you're gonna have a bad time, I'm just telling you right now. But if the Chinese market continues to grow in demand and it has that room to grow exponentially for the cards, you could start seeing these things equal or even outpace the English or Japanese versions. Now, I fully recognize there are counter-arguments to what I'm saying right here of you might have way too much demand and they print way too much and it stays super cheap and it doesn't have a lot of long-term value because of the population of China. You may also have things where the demand for Chinese cards here in the States or in Japan is super low but is high in that region, so getting them here may not be a good thing in terms of long-term investing or anything like that. But I gotta be completely honest, I think this is an underlooked thing, and the fact that you could get older cards that we haven't seen in English or Japanese for a fraction of the cost, have the same kind of artwork, the same kind of style, and be official Pokemon cards, these are heavily slept on right now, and I'm warning everybody now, this is going to be big in the future. Especially if they're going to get exclusive products that we don't see here in the States or have very limited releases, such as the Pikachu and Zekrom here that's just gone tremendously up in price. What do you guys think? Is the Chinese market going to take over, or is it only going to be kind of a niche popular thing over in China and not really have any effect on anything here, and the cards won't really be worth anything here? I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments below, but I think this is going to be super slept on, and I am definitely going to buy up the Blastoise market right now so I can corner the market. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like and follow. Again, let me know below, and I'll see you in the next one, you goofballs.